Hello, everyone, and welcome in to our Michigan against Duke stream. This is the number one team in the country up against number three in the AP poll, but number two in every bracketology projection, the Duke Blue Devils. This is the Edward Jones Capital Showcase in Washington, D.C., the nation's capital. It's a rare non conference game this late in the season, but we saw Duke do this last year with Illinois and at Madison Square Garden, and that was a 40 plus point victory for Duke. So Michigan's hoping that this thing goes a little better for the Big Ten team. Michigan is 25-1 on the season. Forgot to change the records, my bad. And Duke is 24-2. This is not a conference game, so we won't put up the conference records. Both teams are Michigan is 15-1 in the Big Ten. Duke is 13-1 in the ACC. Michigan's one loss was to Wisconsin at home about a month ago. They are on an 11-game win streak, and then in terms of Duke, they have lost twice this year against Texas Tech at MSG, and then against North Carolina about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, at the Dean Dome. They have won three in a row since. They will play four more games after this. Same with Michigan. Next Friday, for example, is going to be Michigan's trip to Champaign to play Illinois. That is definitely going to be a game that I'm going to stream. Might decide the Big Ten title. So looks like we're about to get underway. No surprises in the starting lineup for either team. For Michigan, it is Lendenborg, Johnson, Mara, Cadeau, and Burnett. And for Duke, it's Boozer, Ngongba, Sarr, Evans, and Foster. Both teams will bring 3 to 4 players off the bench. Michigan gets quite a bit of production from their 4 bench players that they bring in: Wilt Cheddar, L.J. Kaysen, Roddy Gale, and Trey McKinney. And then in terms of Duke, we'll see Caden Boozer, Malik Brown, Nico Kamenia, and then maybe Harris off the bench. Earlier today, the selection committee unveiled their top 16 teams for the bracket. If the season ended today, obviously Michigan was number one and Duke was number two. We learned a lot about some other teams there, but ultimately, teams have 4 or 5 games remaining at this point. So this one, not going to do much in terms of these two teams' hopes for a conference title, but it will for the number one overall seed, which is important for selecting a location to play your first 2 rounds, and then ultimately the region. If Michigan holds in the Midwest, which it looks like they will, that'll be in Chicago. Michigan's preferred first round location is Philadelphia. So Philly to Chicago if you're a Michigan fan. And then in terms of Duke, they're going to prefer the East region, which is going to be played in this arena here, the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. So we are underway, and it's Michigan in yellow who control the tip. Elliot Cadeau, the former North Carolina player, 0-3 against Duke last year. And Mara is guarded by Ngongba first. Boozer is on. Now it looks like they're doing a little switching here. It's Cadeau on the drive, throws it up to Mara, and he helps it in off the backboard. So Michigan, strike first. Not sure that was the most accurate pass, but Mara is tall enough where he was able to knock it off the backboard. So it's Merez Johnson covering Boozer first. He throws back out to Evans. Evans a triple. That's short. Rebounded by Ngongba. Back out to Evans. He's going to let it fly again. No, again. And it's Mara with the rebound. So the first 2 shots for Isaiah Evans are no good. Feels like that is an important development here. Isaiah Evans got to be able to make some shots against Michigan, and you got to have your guards lead the way because of their big forwards. There was a blocking foul there on Isaiah Evans. That's his first and the first for Duke. Cadeau will inbound it for Michigan underneath after the foul. He throws it into Mara. Now it's Johnson. Teardrop right in front of the free throw line. That is good. So Michigan converts on their first 2 possessions. And now Foster brings it down for Duke. Evans on the curl, Evans on the drive, and he slams it home. Isaiah Evans driving to the basket and is throwing it down with some authority. Lendenborg now throws it over to Mara. Now it's Namari Burnett. Merez. Cadeau from way downtown. No. Rebound by Evans. He saves it and bounce to Foster. And Duke will look to push it in transition. We're just over 2 minutes, or just under 2 minutes into the game. It's 4-2 Michigan. A ball over the top to Ngongba. Kick to the corner. Evans sidestep triple. No. Rebounded by Boozer. And a foul on Adai Mara. Trying to get that rebound. There's Dusty May, second year as coach at Michigan after a couple of years at Florida Atlantic, which resulted in a Final Four. Boozer driving baseline on Mara. He's forced to retreat. They kick it out to Sarr. Now Boozer. Great defense here for Michigan. Sarr, corner 3. Yes! Dame Sarr from the corner, and Duke take the lead. Lendenborg drives and one off the backboard. So Yaxel Lendenborg, a little bit of a herky-jerk move there, as he almost lost control of the ball, but he is fouled and he throws it off the window for 2 and the foul. So 6-5 Michigan. And Yaxel Lendenborg will go to the line for a 3-point play. And the free throw is short. And it's rebounded by Boozer, and Foster will bring it forward for Duke. Roddy Gale into the game for Michigan, as Mara will go to the bench. And it looks like there's a foul off the ball here on somebody on Michigan, perhaps Burnett. And when it comes to John Shire, it is his 4th year at Duke since he took over for Coach K. Fastest to 100 wins in ACC history. It's almost if there hasn't been a coaching change. The Duke success has continued. It's Ngongba on a short roll, and Roddy Gale tips it and steals it. Gale pushes it in transition. Gale throws it up. Lendenborg in off the backboard. So Yaxel Lendenborg, a quick 2 buckets. And Michigan take an 8-5 lead. Foster on the drive. He is fouled, and he'll go to the line for 2. They're going to get Roddy Gale by the looks of it with that foul. So it'll be Caleb Foster to the line for 2. And the first one is good. It's the 3rd foul on Michigan. And 2 for 2 for Caleb Foster. And Duke is within 1. So Roddy Gale will run the point here for the Wolverines. Cadeau sitting behind a screen. He's going to take the triple, and it's short. Rebounded by Foster, and Duke will look to push it in transition. Foster. Boozer kicks it. Evans, corner 3. Yes. Isaiah Evans from downtown. And Duke take a 10-8 lead. And Lendenborg goes down. He flips it up and in, and the foul. So Yaxel Lendenborg, his 2nd and 1 already. And they cut to that right as it was happening. They're caught a little bit off guard. And Yaxel ties the game up at 10, has a chance for an 11. Already 6 points for the transfer from UAB. And Lennonborg goes 2 for 2, so Michigan back in front. Foster bringing it across for Duke. Gets the screen from Boozer. Now Malik Brown into the game for Duke for the first time. Foster. Now they're not really getting Boozer involved at all here. Now here he is. He gets a touch at the 3-point line on Gale. Gale takes it from him. No, he doesn't. And Boozer gets it back, and he gives it right to Malik Brown, who throws it down. So a nice play there by Cam Boozer. Whoops, that is not what we want. Duke up 12 to 11, and this ball goes out of bounds. And it will stay with Michigan. So don't go anywhere. This is the first media timeout. We'll be back after a few minutes. We are back from break. It is 12 to 11 Duke here after the first segment of the first half. It is Michigan ball. Duke's hit 2 triples already. It really does feel like that this is going to come down to how many threes Duke could make. Because there's not going to be much at the basket, especially when Mara's on the floor. So Cadeau will bring it up for Michigan. And they seem to short roll it. Lendenborg's going to take the triple, and he hits. So he Axel Lendenborg for 3, and he has got 9 already. No, 10. Sorry, 10 points already. Michigan lead 14-12. Caden Boozer is into the game for Duke for the first time. Malik Brown fires it over to Evans. Brown, he can make a 3. He's going to take one here, and it spins out. And Lendenborg with the rebound. Kaysen from the corner. Yes, LJ Kaysen, his first impact on this one is a triple from the corner. And Michigan with 17 points in the first 5 minutes of this one. Boozer to Boozer. He flips it up and in. He takes it right at the chest of Adayamara, who already has a foul, not wanting to commit a second, and he converts, and it's 17-14. They throw it up to Lendenborg. Lendenborg inside. He flips it up and in. So a quick start to this one. Lendenborg with 12 already. Feels like Duke might have to do something about that. Boozer to Boozer screen at the top of the key. It's over to Sarr. Now Brown. Boozer spots up for 3. No. Rebounded by Mara, who throws it up to Lendenborg, and it's out of bounds, and it'll stay with Michigan. Adayamara, the center for the Wolverines, will do that from time to time. He will just sort of get a rebound and throw it up the floor rather than looking for a guard. But it seems like Duke may have to go with 3. Boozer and Gongba and Brown on the floor at the same time. We'll have to see. Kaysen now on the curl off the out of bounds. He flips it up, no good. Ball is out of bounds, and it'll stay with Michigan, but the Duke players want a challenge. And Shire's going to wait, and they're going to challenge. The Duke players ask their coach to challenge, and then they go look at the grad assistant or the student manager with the iPad and look at the call and then make a split-second decision. Yeah, and that for sure is off of Mara. So this will go back to Duke here. So it's going to be a successful challenge for the Blue Devils, so they will not lose a timeout. It is risky challenging this early in the game because not only would you get burned for a timeout, you would lose your challenge, and especially on calls that are probably wrong. The refs have typically stuck with the on-court decision more times than not today, or more times than not this season since this rule has been put in. But just no need for this one to take too long on this one. I mean, this was off Mara. Let's give the ball to Duke. So it's 19-14 Michigan here. 14 minutes remaining in this first half. The Wolverines have been incredibly efficient on the offensive end. Axel Lendenborg already has 12. Duke might have to make a little bit of an adjustment here on the defensive end. Michigan is matchup hunting, and Lendenborg at the 3 is the matchup that they like. So Boozer has it at the top of the key. Boozer drives, shake and bake, and he's blocked by Mara, and they're going to call a foul. So not only is that a tough call in the moment, but that's Mara's second foul. He's going to have to come out. And, that changes things big time around the rim if he has to leave the game. So Boozer for 2 now at the line. And he hits the first. Probably not a foul, but he did have his hand on his back. Did have, I mean, it wasn't total. There was at least something there. So Boozer goes 2 for 2, and Mara has his second foul. He's gonna have to go to the bench for the rest of the first half, or at least for a couple minutes. Maybe not the rest of the first half. So Marez now at the 5, and he gets it taken by Malik Brown. So nice defense there by Duke, and Foster brings it forward. Foster loses it, but it goes right to Boozer. Boozer drives, kicks, Foster, pump fake, Brown, Foster, probing, gets it to Boozer. Now, Boozer's been on the three-point line quite a bit today. He spins around Case and flips it. Foster, wide open triple. Yes. So Caleb Foster ties the game at 19. And Michigan bring it the other way. Lendenborg now. McKenney into the game for Michigan for the first time. Now it's Marez down low with Boozer. Marez pumps a couple times, spins, and he lays it up and in. So Duke not providing much of a defensive resistance here inside or out. Caden Boozer now for Duke. Kamenia into the game for the first time for the Blue Devils. He's got it over on the left wing. The screen for Foster. They go underneath it. They let him shoot it, and he knocks it down. So Caleb Foster back-to-back triples, and Duke have the lead at 22-21. Gale goes baseline, flips it up, no. Rebounded by Marez, and he slapped back. Lendenborg, ball's on the floor. And we are going to be... No, they're going to call it travel. So the ball will go back to Duke. 12:05 remaining, so not quite at the media just yet. But it will be going back to Duke. Just a hustle plays all over. And that's actually a really good call by the official. The Axel did, he did make the move where he did spin. So that is a travel. Duke with the ball now, up by 1. It's been Foster from 3 the last 2 times. He drives again. Caleb Foster to the hoop. He lays it up, no good. And the ball is out of bounds. And it'll go back to Michigan. And that'll be it for the under 12 timeout. So Duke and Michigan with an offensive clinic so far. We will be back after the break. So we are back here from the under 12 timeout. It's 22-21 Duke. They went through Axel Lindenborg's journey there. Been quite a few places, and he will be going to probably quite a few more in the NBA next year. But first, he's got to finish the season with Michigan. Lindenborg now has it. Retreats. He's looking for Merez inside. He gets it to him. Merez, guarded by Ngongba. He retreats also, kicks it to Kaysen. LJ Kaysen drives, spins, flips it up, and it's blocked by Ngongba. Foster with the rebound. He's going to bring it the other way. Boozer drives. Boozer gets it blocked. And that was Caden Boozer. Now transition for Michigan here. Kaysen flips it up, and he is fouled. So LJ Kaysen to the line for two. Exactly 11 minutes remaining here in the first half. And it's one of Michigan's best qualities is their ability to turn possession or turnovers or rebounds even into transition, and they did so there. The first free throw by Kaysen is off the mark. And that is Caleb Foster's second foul, so we won't see him for at least a little bit. So it's probably going to be Caden Boozer running the point for the rest of this one. And 0 for 2 for Kaysen. That ball rattles in and out, and Duke keeps the lead. 22-21 Blue Devils. It's been a back and forth tight one so far. Evans back into the game for Duke. Now it's Ngongba going down low with Merez, the number 21s. Ngongba spins to his left, and he loses it. Lindenborg gets it after the bounces around. McKinney for three. No. Ball is on the floor, and it's out of bounds. It will be going back to Duke. Will Cheddar into the game for Michigan. He wants a review. We'll see if Dusty May chooses to do so. It does not appear that way. Ooh, you can see why Michigan wanted a challenge there, because that was off of Ngongba. But unclear if Michigan will be doing that. They will not. So Duke ball here. 10:30 remaining in the first. Blue Devils up 1. Kamenia has it now in the right wing, guarded by McKinney. Now Cam Boozer is back in the game. And now Caden Boozer has it. And Ngongba hits Kamenia on the back cut and an easy layup. So a little bit of a defensive breakdown there for Michigan, and Duke is up by 3. A 10-2 run over the last 3.5 minutes have Duke ahead. Cadeau, now Lindenborg, corner pocket, way off. That's an air ball. Rebounded by Evans, and Boozer bringing it forward. Flips it over to Evans. Evans takes the long shot, no good. Rebounded by Michigan, and Lindenborg brings it forward for the Wolverines. Elliot Cadeau now throws it. Lindenborg, corner 3. Yes. So Axel Lindenborg. 15 points already in this one, as we're just over the quarter mark. And we are tied up at 24. Kamenia looking for Ngongba. He screens around him. Boozer, now Evans on the right wing, guarded by McKinney. Isaiah Evans steps into a triple. No. Rebounded by Merez, and Lindenborg looks to push for Michigan. Wolverines in transition. Lindenborg gets Evans on him. They should like this matchup. Merez now shuffles it to Trey McKinney. McKinney drives, loses it, gets it back, turns around, flips it up, and in. So Trey McKinney makes another lead change as he knocks down the jumper, and Michigan lead 26-24. 10 points a game for McKinney. That's 8th for Big Ten freshmen. A lot of good Big Ten freshmen this year, many of which we'll see called in the NBA draft in May. or July. I don't know why I said May. Kemenia and Evans pushes off, and that is an offensive foul. So a nice job there by Michigan. And Duke turns it over. This is perhaps a game that we could see again in a few short weeks, potentially in Indianapolis. That would probably be the only time that these teams could play if if they don't fall off here and lose a bunch of games, because they're both going to be one seeds no matter what happens today. But back to the game as Cadeau brings it across for Michigan. McKinney was open under the basket. He didn't throw it. Cheddar a flare screen, and he travels. And then he tosses the ball up in the air. So, major mistake there on that possession for Michigan, not to see McKinney, and then Will Cheddar, not sure what he was doing. So 8:15 remaining in this first half. Wolverines up 26-24. As Caden Boozer has it. Little Boozer screen. Cam Boozer going down low. Cam Boozer lays it up and in. So Adai Mara is back into the game for Michigan with the 2 fouls. We have not seen Foster yet for Duke. Cheddar now on the left wing. Now it's Cadeau. Middle ball screen with Mara. He short rolls it. Kicks it. McKinney. Pump fake. McKinney looking for Mara inside. He's going to step back and he's going to take the triple. No. Rebounded by Boozer. And the other Boozer will bring it up for Duke. Kemenia now has it on the other wing. Flips it. Brown. Sar for 3. No. And we have a foul. And if that's on Mara, that's number 3. And it is. Loose ball foul on Adai Mara. That's his 3rd foul. And you can totally see why. He just drives Kemenia to the ground there. So while the 2nd foul may have been a little bit of a tough call on Mara, he did himself no favors there. It is 26-26 at the under 8 timeout. We'll be back after the break. All right, folks, we are back from the under 8 timeout. We are tied up at 26. It has been the Axel Lendenborg show so far. He has got 15 of the Wolverines' 26. So Mara did get that third foul. We are definitely not going to see him for the rest of the first half and maybe even to start the second half. So Boozer and Duke have to take advantage of this time that Mara is not going to be on the floor. They get it to Boozer and he loses it. Turnover Duke. Lendenborg there to corral it. And Cadeau now has it for the Wolverines. He's going to slow it down a little bit. Flare screen for Yaxel, guarded by Saar. Thought about shooting it and didn't. He throws it back to Cadeau. Now back to Lendenborg. He lets it fly. No. Nice rebound there by Foster. And Duke pushes in transition. Foster trying to shake and bake. Kicks it to Brown. Now Boozer. Now Foster. Drives. Free throw line mid-range. That is well off. And Michigan pushing the other way. Here comes Cadeau. Namari Burnett. Cadeau's going to take a triple, and it's short. Rebounded by Kamenia. Foster now. Duke looking to push. Foster drives. Retreats. Now Boozer drives. Boozer does not throw it down, but he is fouled. So that is going to be on Lendenborg. The foul's starting to pile up a little bit here. That's number 6 on the Wolverines. And yeah, I mean, Yaxel did hit him in the head there. That is a foul. Probably did save 2 points, though. So 6:04 remaining in this one. What was a super fast start to the game. We've started to hit a little bit of a lull offensively. Cam Boozer, 6 points, 4 assists so far. And the first free throw is way off. That is no good. So Boozer's second is good. So Duke take the lead. Lendenborg now, guarded by Malik Brown, so they've switched the bigger defender on him. Cadeau, sizing up. Now Merez, now Yaxel. Cadeau. Gale. Loses it. Gets it taken by Kamenia, and then Merez with the loose ball foul. So 5:39 remaining. That is the 7th foul on Michigan, so this will be a 1-and-1 for Duke and Kamenia. Nice defending there. Yep, he just takes that ball from Gale, and then Merez reaches. Always a foul there. Well, that is the second on Merez. So foul trouble for the Michigan bigs already. So it's going to have to be some Will Cheddar minutes here. And Yaxel potentially at the 4. And the first free throw is missed by Kamenia, and it's Roddy Gale who pulls down the rebound. Cadeau. And Merez is staying in the game with 2 fouls. I mean, they don't really have a choice here. Cadeau drives, lays it off to Merez, and he throws it down. Merez Johnson Jr. with the ferocious dunk. And Michigan is back in front. And Elliot Cadeau is limping. And they're going to stop the game here. So not a positive development here for Michigan. Their point guard is hobbling around. The West Orange, New Jersey native. Not exactly sure what's going on here with Cadeau. It looks like it's his left arm. And that is not a good development for Michigan if he is going to be unavailable. So Kaysen comes into the game primarily to be the point guard. And let's see, can Duke take advantage of all this foul trouble and this Cadeau injury? They haven't yet. It's Ngongba going to work on Cheddar. And Ngongba, shake and bake, and he lays it in. So Pat Ngongba turns this game for Duke once again. Burnett takes the triple, in and out, rebounded by Gale. Staying here with Michigan. Burnett. Driving, forced to retreat. Lendenborg drives, kicks. Kaysen drives, high off the glass. It is in. So LJ Kaysen with the Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman-esque skyhook there. And Michigan is back in front. Sarr drives. Sarr lays it up and in, but it looks like this is going to be a foul on the floor before then. So what exactly happened here with Cadeau? And that's what they're showing. Maybe something with the fingers or the hands. He's just sort of chilling over there. It was forearm. That's what he's holding. So we'll have to see there. They're still sort of working on him over there on the bench, trying to wrap it up. And that is not a good development. That is a pretty heavy wrap. That's not a playing wrap. So Ngongba misses the 1-1. So Duke has missed two front ends of the 1-1 here as we're under 4 minutes in the first half. Kaysen now moving for Michigan. Kaysen driving. Kaysen loses it, gets it back, flips it up and in. So LJ Kaysen extends the Michigan lead to 3. So all these things going wrong for the Wolverines, and they look up, and they have a 3-point lead here against Duke. And there's a shot missed, and Michigan's going to bring it the other way. Lenneborg flips it up, and he is fouled. So 3:11 remaining in the first half. This will be the final media timeout of the first half. Michigan dealing with all sorts of foul trouble and injury, but they lead Duke by 3. We'll be back after the short break. We are back from the final media timeout. It is Michigan 32, Duke 29. Adai Mara for Michigan has 3 fouls. Merez has 2 fouls. And starting point guard Elliot Cadeau has gone to or has left the game with a forearm injury. And after all that, Michigan still leads Duke by 3 here. It'll be Yaxel Lendenborg on the line for 2. And he makes the first to make it 33-29. And the second one is no good. And Caden Boozer will bring the ball forward for Duke. Really feels like Duke need a strong end to this half. Boozer now driving. Boozer flips it up. No good. Loose ball rebound by Kamenia. He loses it. He gets it back and he lays it in. So nice hustle play there by Nico Kamenia. And Duke is back within 2. Cheddar takes a 3 from the corner. No. They're from the wing. No good. And it's rebounded by Duke. Duke can come the other way. They throw it into Boozer. That's a bad pass by Ngongba. That is caught by Kaysen and turned over. And Michigan brings it the other way. LJ Kaysen trying to beat Boozer. Boozer keeps him in front. Now he gets the screen from Cheddar. Now Kaysen backing up. And they're going to let this clock bleed a little bit here. 2 minutes remaining now in the half. And this is a short clock here. I'm not sure what they're doing offensively. Kaysen loses it. Ball's on the floor and out of bounds off of Michigan. And it will be Duke ball. So a nice defensive possession there by the Blue Devils. They've really shut the water off on the defensive end a little bit here. It just didn't really seem like Michigan knew exactly what they wanted to do there on offense. And the ball will be going back to Duke. We are going to get a special call-in from somebody at the game at halftime. So please be sure to tune into that when it comes. But before then, we've got some basketball to play. Boozer backing down Gale. Boozer ripping through, spinning it, losing it over the backboard. And it is out of bounds. It's going to stay here with Duke. And good news for Michigan, Elliot Cadeau has checked back into the game. I know we have a question. Eric in the chat, is Cadeau actually good this year? Yes, he's been really good. He was pretty bad for UNC. He is pretty good this year. It's been a pretty remarkable turnaround. Duke throws it in to Ngongba. Now Sarr. Can Duke take the lead here before the half? Boozer looking for his brother down low. They get it to Cam Boozer, guarded by Gale. This is a mismatch. Michigan's going to have to bring 2. They do. It doesn't matter. Boozer off the board for 2. We are tied up at 33 here. 1:10 remaining in this first half. Burnett now. And he loses it, but it goes over to Lendenborg. Yaxel trying to back down Kamenia. Yaxel spinning. Left hand is short. Rebounded by Pat and Ngongba. Boozer now bringing it the other way. We are under a minute. They're looking for Boozer inside. They're not going to throw it to him. They're going to throw it to Sarr. He's looking for Boozer inside. The ball's on the floor. Back out to Kamenia. Ngongba. Kamenia. Pump fake. Takes the triple. Short. Rebounded by Lendenborg. We are under 30 seconds left now. So Michigan is going to hold for 1. So at the very minimum, Michigan is going to be leaving the half tied. Cadeau will have it now with 15. Lendenborg, they're going to put him one-on-one with Boozer by the looks of it. Duke, major help defense. Burnett comes around for the 3. No. Rebound is gathered by Ngongba, and they're going to call a foul with 0.8 on the clock. So Duke could potentially be going into the break with the lead here. Totally jinxed Michigan with the that they'd be no worse than leaving in the half. Did not think that they would make a loose ball foul before it. But you have to think even down two, Michigan's feeling pretty good about where things are with Mara, with Cadeau missing some time with Johnson. They've had to play these last couple minutes with Lendenborg at the 5. So Nkongba here for the 1-1, and he hits. 6-4-9 from the stripe for Duke, just 2 for 6 for Michigan. So that is going to be something that the Wolverines are going to have to do a little bit of a better job there in the second half. Ngongba gets the roll and goes 2 for 2. And that three-quarter court heave is not going to be good. So it is halftime, and it's Duke that leads 35-33. Don't go anywhere. We are going to be joined here by somebody on the ground. I'm going to give him a call. Hello.
Sean, you got me live?
Yep, you are live on YouTube, Joe. It's Duke 35, Michigan 33 at halftime. Just wanted to get a couple quick thoughts on how that first half went.
So I'm in person. I don't know. Is the officiating a little suspect? I'm not saying rigged. I'm just saying a little suspect. Has there been some bad calls?
The second foul for Mara was a little bit not great, but the other two were the third one was a foul. Unnecessary, but it was a foul. And then in terms of the other ones, I think Merez's, both of his were fouls. There's been some off-the-ball stuff that they've let go, but yeah. I
think it's a really quality college basketball game overall, Sean. I think Michigan, Lendenborg and Boozer are kind of showing why they're two of the best players in the game. I think the role players need to have a little more of a role outside of LJ, and this game could get real interesting. But Michigan's foul trouble: 2 on Mo, Merez Johnson, 3 on Mara. That's a real disadvantage. They needed to get Ngongba in foul trouble prior, so that's not a great sign for the Wolverines.
Yeah, I think a lot went wrong for you there in that first half, and you're only down 2. Cadeau went out. Cadeau went out with that injury. It looks like he's okay. And then, they had 5 minutes there of the Axel at the 5. So I think things could have gone worse, and I think you got to be okay with just being down 2.
And overall, Sean, it's funny. Michigan really hasn't been in a crazy adverse game against a team of similar talent. The Northwestern game you can think of, but no one on this podcast really believes that they're a equal caliber team to Michigan talent-wise. And, I think both teams are very good. I think both could have done things a little better, but overall, I think this is a quality game. And, Michigan did a lot of bad things and finds themselves down 2. I think it's a real interesting scenario we're in.
Yeah, and I think Michigan has done a great job on the defensive end with Boozer. He is not usually this much of a perimeter player, but most of his touches and he's scoring a little bit, but it's because he's had to work hard for it. In terms of Yaxel, he's been the star for Michigan in that first half, 16 points. Duke did switch up defensively a little bit on him with a bigger defender there at the end. I think maybe if you can get back to the 3 bigs, I don't think they can do that. So I think that's the key here is early in the second half. You got to be able to keep Mara and Johnson out there, and because you're shutting off the water at the rim. It's just going to come down to whether they can hit some jump shots.
Yeah, and overall, Sean, I think Michigan has been a little sloppy on offense. I don't think it's been as sloppy as they've been, but, it's and by the way, I think Michigan was smart not to use their challenges. It's a 2-point game at halftime. I don't think you need to overreact one way or another.
That you would have on that one sideline out of bounds, you would have gotten it because that was off of Duke.
Yeah. Again, I think Michigan is. I don't think they're in a bad position. I think they could have been in a better position, but I think the chances on this are still as 50-50 as they've ever been. And one thing I'll say, Sean, is Cam Boozer is as good as advertised. I don't think he's gotten his way a lot. He's had yaks a lot of a lot, but he's exploited the mismatches so far, and he's certainly not afraid to. How do I put this? Certainly not afraid to exploit the matchups, and that's really good on him. I think that's a weakness for Michigan come later in the tournament.
Yeah, and he is. This is why he's the odds-on favorite to be the National Player of the Year. He's not the point guard, but the offense runs through him, and nothing was different there. All right, Joe, I'll let you go. I'll let you get back to the action, but thanks for checking in, and good luck in the second half.
Yes, sir. Go blue, and thanks for listening, guys.
All right, see you later, Joe.
See ya.
All right, well, that was Joe Mead live from the Capital One Arena in in DC. I hope you could hear that. It's telling me that the sound came through um, on my end, so I hope you were able to hear that. Obviously, thanks to Joe for checking in. About 10 or so minutes here until the second half. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back in about 10 for the second half. I am back. Sorry about that. Missed a little bit of action here in the second half. $18.25 remaining, and it is 38-34 Duke. I have to check in and see how exactly it got to this. But Lenneborg is at the line, and he has hit both of his free throws. So Duke will bring it the other way with Foster. Mara not on the floor for Michigan, so that's a big development here. Boozer inside, kicks it to Evans. Evans drives, and it's blocked by Merez out of bounds. So to get to this point in the second half, it was one free throw for Pat and Gongba, a layup from Sarr, and 2 free throws from Lenneborg that we just saw. So it's a short clock here for Duke. Boozer has it. 5 seconds on the clock. It's a replace. It's Evans for 3. Yes, Isaiah Evans from downtown. And Duke leads by 6. Just the second 3 of the game for Evans. Burnett pump fakes, gets Foster off the ground, drives, and he is fouled. Foster's third. That is just a tough shot from Evans on the last play. Just a really good player making a play there at the end of the shot clock. Back to Lenneborg here. Throws it over to Cadeau and now Roddy Gale, who started the second half in place of Mara. Johnson backing down Boozer. Johnson turns, flips, up, no. Rebound by Malik Brown, and Duke will push it the other way. Three ball from the corner for Evans is no good. Merez with the rebound. Michigan can push. Lendenborg leading the way. Yaxel, high steps. Yaxel is fouled by Boozer. On the floor, potentially, yes. So 17:02 remaining here. That is 4 fouls in the first 3 minutes of the second half on Duke. Something to watch out for here. I didn't really have anybody in bad foul trouble in the first half, but Cam Boozer now with 2, Evans with 2, Foster with 3. Burnett coming around the screen. It's going to be Merez who takes the triple, and he nails it. Merez Johnson Jr. from downtown. And Michigan is within 3. And it looks like there's another foul here on Michigan. It's going to be on Elliot Cadeau. Evans, short roll to Boozer. Foster in the corner. No. Rebounded by Yaxel. Cadeau hits the floor. He wanted a foul. He's not going to get it. Lenneborg for the 3 and the tie. No. Rebound is tipped by Gale out of bounds, so it'll go back to Duke. 16-16 remaining in the second half. Layup is no good. Goes back up to Brown. No good. And it's out of bounds off of Foster. So it'll go back to Michigan here. 15:57 remaining in the second half. This is the under 16 media timeout. We will be back after the break. And we are back from the media timeout. They're going through the various celebs and such that are in attendance. Quite a few names. Duke freshman last year, Con Knippel is there, among others. And it is Elliot Cadeau who will bring it forward here for Michigan. Mara back in the game for the first time since getting his third foul. It's Kaysen and Yaxel on the left wing. Now it's Cadeau. Now it's Gale on the right. Gale to Mara. Adai Mara has Boozer on him. He flips it up and in. So a nice job there by Adai Mara, and Michigan is within one. 15:30 remaining. We have got a good one on our hands here in DC. This has lived up to the hype so far. Brown fires it to Evans in the corner. Gale runs him off. Evans picks up his dribble, gives it to Brown. Now back to Evans. Evans gonna have to make something happen here on a short clock. Sarr on the drive. It's blocked by Mara. Loose ball foul on Duke, and it would be going to Michigan. So that is just a great example of what the difference is when Adai Mara is on the court for Michigan. He can't, you just can't score at the rim as easily. And this is a great play. It looks like Sarr is going to throw this down, but Mara says no. And then the loose ball foul is going to be given to Cam Boozer. That is his third foul. He's going to have to, well, he's not leaving the game, but he's going to have to be careful here going forward. You'd have to think Michigan's going to go right at him here. Yes, they are. They double Mara. Ball movement, Lendenborg, corner three, in and out. Rebounded by Boozer. Duke looking to push in transition. It's Evans, corner three. No. Rebounded by Boozer. Fires it out to Foster. Caleb Foster drives, and he lays it in. So nice find there by Boozer. And Duke is back up by 3. Cadeau spins out of it. Now Kaysen drives baseline. Kaysen looking to do something with this. Kicks it to Mara. Now it's Kaysen on the right wing. They're going to empty side this. Kaysen to Cadeau. Point-to-point 3. Way off. Rebounded by Boozer. So Duke's defense holding up here after initially really struggling early. Cadeau, 0 points. He might be seeing ghosts here. Boozer backing down LJ Kaysen. Mara is there too for help once he turns. They're going to double it and get it out. Can he spread? He finds Ngongba. Mara, knowing he can't commit his fourth foul, he blocks it anyway. Ball is loose, and it is out of bounds off of Michigan. And it will stay with Duke here. Short clock, just 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Two blocks already for the Spaniard. And it is Foster. And Duke ran the action before. And Ngongba is just going to have to take this mid-range. No good, but Foster's there for the rebound. Back out to Boozer. Now Evans, long 3 from the Edward Jones logo. That is off. Rebound by Yaxel. And it's going to be a loose ball foul on Michigan. So we'll see who they get with this one. It's probably going to be McKinney, who I would guess is going to be charged with that foul. And yep, push in the back. Kamenia, of course, probably sold that a little bit, but that is a foul. So a fresh clock here for Duke. They're up 43-40. 13 and a half minutes to go. They get it to Ngongba underneath, and he lays it in. So Pat Ngongba with the strong finish. And Duke is back up by 5. Kaysen drives, kicks it to McKinney. Corner 3, no. Rebounded by Gale, and he lays it in. Great play from the Ohio State transfer. And Michigan is back to within 3. Nobody's been able to really extend this lead out from a few points. Boozer's out there with 3 fouls. Michigan's got a couple players with 3 fouls too. It's an Evans 3. It is no good, but Boozer gets the rebound. Out to Foster. Foster drives. Stopped by Mara. Boozer has the mismatch inside. Boozer spins on Gale, and he lays it in, and the foul. Cam Boozer to the line for a 3-point play. And Mara was in the vicinity there. Could this be number 4? And that is 100% on Aday Mara. So that is his 4th foul. And man, Boozer did hook a little bit there trying to get around Roddy Gale. But Mara came in and hacked him too. So Aday Mara is going to have to go to the bench with 4 fouls. And Duke can open their biggest lead of the night. And the free throw is no good from Boozer. So Duke just up by 5, but it's 11.7 rebounds, 7 assists from Cam Boozer. He is officially on triple-double watch. Mara. Now it's Kaysen. Now Lendenborg. Now, did they not give that foul to Mara? I'm going to have to check. Kaysen for 3. Way off. Loose ball is out of bounds going back to Duke. So 12-11 remaining here in this second half. And they're going to go to a commercial break. We will too. Duke up by 4. Up by 5 with 12 minutes to go. And we are back from break here. This was an appeal from Michigan. not a challenge. This is an appeal. There are unlimited appeals, but you do lose a timeout if you lose the appeal. Basically, you ask them to look at a play if it should be elevated or not. Let's see what the ref has to say. So they're looking for this hook and hold on Ngongba and Mara here. And that is why Michigan asked. And that very easily could have been a flagrant one on Duke. That is a huge, huge advantage from Duke. Or huge advantage to Duke there. And they will get the ball here with 12:11 remaining. And 12 minutes to go. We're going to get another media timeout here in just a second. Boozer travels. Put a couple of feet down before he put the ball down, and it's a turnover. Feels like Duke has figured some things out defensively. Michigan, on the other end, do have to hit some outside shots. And we'll see if they can do that. Before the break, they did give Gale that foul on the Boozer and one. So Mara still has 3. I can't believe it because, Gale fouled him on the floor and then he, spun around. But it's Merez inside here on Boozer. He flips it up and in. So a nice play there by Merez Johnson. Michigan is back within 3. 5 of 7 shooting for 11 points from Merez. And Caden Boozer will bring it forward for the Blue Devils. Caden Boozer, middle ball screen, throws it up to Ngongba, and he throws it down. Pat Ngongba with the dunk. And Duke is back up by 5. Michigan quickly to the other way here. Kaysen beats his man. Kaysen shovels it to Lenneborg, and that is blocked by Boozer. And he was about to go out of bounds, so he threw it back in, but it's back to Michigan. Kaysen inside, looking for some space. He flips it up, and it's no good. Michigan not making shots right now. They're going to have to do a little bit better to get back in this game. Boozer, guarded by Kaysen. Boozer. Ngongba for 3 from the top of the key. That is off. Rebound by Merez. Michigan can look to go forward in transition. Kaysen. Flare screen to Yaxel. Corner 3. Boy, do they need it. No. So, a couple of back-breaking misses here for Michigan as they try and pull this thing closer. We're still due another media timeout here at the next whistle. Just 2 points for Yaxel in the second half compared to 16 in the first half. The Boozers are switched up here. They're looking for Cam inside. Now Mara comes over, and it's stolen by McKenney, the entry pass. Nice job there by McKenney, and there's a reaching foul on Dame Sarr. So 10:05 remaining in this one. Duke up by 5. That is the 6th foul on the Blue Devils. So Michigan will be shooting the rest of the way. No immediate timeout yet, I guess, because that other one was within 12. McKenney free throw line jumper, that is off the back rim. So Michigan really, really struggling from the field here all of the sudden. Boozer, guarded by Mara, and Merez here tries to slip it through the double team, doesn't. Ball's on the floor. Loose ball, Duke has it. Kamenia drives. Kamenia, floater, yes. So Nico Kamenia puts Duke up by 7 over Michigan. Cadeau on the drive. Slice and dice. Elliot Cadeau flips it up, and he is fouled. Ooh, and then he hits the deck again there. So 9:17 remaining, and Cadeau will be at the line for 2. First free throw by Cadeau gets the roll. And Cadeau gets the roll in the second one as well. So Michigan, they're going to get a lot of free throws the rest of the way. Already 7 fouls on Duke. And Duke leads by 5 here with 9 minutes to go. Michigan extending the defense a little bit here. Boozer on the swirl. Lays it up to Ngongba, and he lays it in. Nice movement there by Duke on that in-middle screen dribble handoff action. And Ngongba's able to complete the finish. Cadeau driving. Cadeau is fouled. No, he's not. Yes, he is. No, he's not. On the floor foul for Duke. So Michigan will be going to the line for 2. For 1-1. So that is Cam Boozer's 4th foul. He's going to have to come to the bench for a period here. Probably as long as Duke can afford him to be out there. Obviously, you'd like to get to the last media timeout, but if Michigan comes storming back, you're going to see Boozer back in this game. And Merez Johnson to the line for a 1-1. Desperately needed points here for Michigan as they trail by 7. And the first free throw is good from the Illinois transfer. 7 of 11 on the day for the Wolverines from the stripe. 8 of 13 for Duke. And 2 for 2 for Merez. And Michigan is back within 5. Boozer. Now he gets it to Ngongba. Boozer on the drive. Loses it. No, it goes to Brown. Brown throws it into the backcourt. This is going to be a turnover. Ball back to Michigan. Eight 18 remaining here. Michigan is within 5. It's been quite a while since they've had a free throw. We haven't seen a graphic pop up yet. But they've missed a lot of shots recently. Can they make one to get within a possession here? Yaxel gets the ball screen from Merez. He's looking for Merez inside. He can't throw it. Now it's Cadeau. Elliot Cadeau, short roll to Merez. He's down low. He flips it up. It's blocked by Ngongba and out of bounds off of Duke. So 8:02 remaining now. 4 seconds left on the shot clock for Michigan. So they're going to have to put up a shot pretty quickly here. Cadeau, the inbound. There's 4 seconds. There's enough time for a little bit of an action. They throw it up to Mara. It hits the backboard. So a turnover there for Michigan. That's not really a play that you need to run with 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Yeah, if there's one, maybe, but that's an unfortunate mistake there for Michigan. And Duke is going to call a timeout here, which will serve as the under 8. It's Duke 53, Michigan 48. This one still could go either way. We'll be back after the break. We are back from the break here. 7:47 remaining. This is going to go down to the wire. Duke leads 53-48. It was a game that started off very quickly with the offensive teams, or with the offense really working for both teams, and then not really anymore. We'll see how this can finish. Cam Boozer with the 4 fouls. We're probably not going to see him until the last media timeout unless Michigan comes back and takes the lead. But it's Duke who has the ball here with Foster. Ngongba has it. Now he's looking for Foster here. Foster, at the end of the shot clock, throws it up. He doesn't get it off. Shot clock violation. Duke not cognizant of the shot clock coming out of the timeout. That is something that just cannot happen. Poor job there from the Duke coaching staff. Got to let your players know. We've got another media timeout here. The last one was a called timeout. This one is the media timeout. We'll be back after the break. We are back here after the under 8 media timeout. It is Duke 53, Michigan 48. The Wolverines will have the ball here, and it will be Cadeau who brings it forward. Cadeau to Yaxel. Yaxel has the mismatch. No, he doesn't. Now it's over to Cadeau for 3. Off. Not particularly close. So, been an extremely poor game from Elliot Cadeau. In what is a revenge spot for him, he did go 0 for 3 against Duke last year. Ngongba now shovels it back out to Foster. Michigan 4 of 18 from the field in the second half. Pretty simple. Got to make more than that. Evans, pump fake drive, hangs, loses it. Brown has it, blocked. Michigan in transition. McKinney, head down. McKinney, blocked. Duke has the ball now. Make that 4 of 19 from the field. As Kemenia forward. Now back out to Foster. So a lot of time has come off the clock here. And Duke still lead by 5 with a chance to extend that even further. Foster now. Short clock here for Duke. No Boozer on the floor. Who's going to make something happen? It's going to be Evans. Step back 2 against Lenenborg. That rolls around and in. So Isaiah Evans extends the Duke lead to 7. Cadeau splits the double team. Puts it up and no good, but he is fouled. So Elliot Cadeau will go to the line for some free throws. We could perhaps be seeing a change in the AP poll if this result holds, and potentially even in bracketology too. And that is Kemenia, who's called for the foul. And man, he probably could have been given the charge there. He was there pretty quickly. And Cadeau misses the free throw. So 0 of 6 from the field and now 2 of 3 from the free throw line. Not been the day that Elliot Cadeau wanted. Especially after he sort of ran the show at Mackey Arena just a couple of days ago. So Cadeau now to avoid the empty trip. Just 6 minutes left in this game now. And it's good. And Michigan need to start scoring some more points. Their defense is keeping them in this ball game right now. But got to start scoring a little bit to make up for it. Foster driving on Cadeau. Foster discards mid-range is good. So Caleb Foster pushes this Duke lead out to 8 with 5.5 minutes to go. Lendenborg now. Yaxel spins. Merez, teardrop. No, but Merez tips it in. Duke wanted a goaltend. They're not going to get it. It was actually Mara who tipped it in. That is my bad. Merez missed the initial, teardrop shot from just inside of the free throw line, but Mara was able to tip it in. Michigan back within 6. Foster driving on McKinney, and now he retreats. Couple crossovers, now he tries to drive again. Duke taking their shots deep in the shot clock here. Foster drives, takes it right at the chest of Mara. The layup is no good. McKinney with the rebound. Now Michigan come down the other end. Duke have been losing, or both of the Duke's losses are in this spot. They've been winning, and they've not finished out the game well late. Mara going to the post on Ngongba. Mara backing him down. Mara is fouled. And their arms were hooked up again there. But it will be Adai Mara, the junior from Spain, who will go to the line for 2. Yeah, Ngongba is hooking his arm. But Mara seemed okay with hooking his arm too, so that is a really tough one to officiate, but it will be Mara on the line for 2. Gotta make both of these if you're Michigan. And he makes the first. Adai Mara has a good jumper. He's a good free throw shooter. He's made a couple of threes this year. Definitely a big jump from what we saw from him at UCLA last year. And John Shire is going to put Cam Boozer back in this game. With 4 fouls and 4:47 to go, as Mara goes 2 for 2. 11, 8, and 7 for Boozer here as he's nearing a triple-double. But Michigan within 4 here. Their fans and their bench sense that potentially there's a little bit of a momentum change here. But Duke has it up 4. Can they get a bucket? Ngongba has it. Now it's Kemenia. Nope. Ngongba keeps it. Now it's Evans. Evans drives, loses it. Turnover. McKinney bringing it forward for Michigan. Merez into Mara. Mara back to Merez, and he tries to dunk it, and it's no good. And we're still live. Lenneborg for 3 from the corner. No. But he gets his own rebound. Yaxel Wanted to try another three, didn't. Now it's Trey McKinney on the wing. Mara with the screen. They're looking for Mara back inside. He rips through Mara. Corner. Cadeau. No, he doesn't take it. Lendeborg for three. It's good. Yaxel Lendeborg. And Michigan is within one. 3:35 remaining in this second half. Michigan had been shooting so poorly in the second half. They were getting some good looks. They weren't able to convert, but that time they were. A 7-0 run pulls them within one. 57-56. Foster is hand-checked by McKinney, and that is just Michigan's fifth foul. So they not yet in the penalty. 3:24 to go. Duke leads by one. We'll be back after the final media timeout. And we are back here from the final break. Michigan fell a little bit behind there, but they had a pretty big push to bring it within one. Who is going to get across the line here? We have got Duke with the ball here with just over 3 minutes to go. They throw a back pass for Evans and an alley-oop dunk. What a great play out of the timeout from John Shire, and Duke is back up by 3. Cadeau running the point for Michigan. McKinney, Lenneborg, Johnson, Mara on the floor for Michigan. Mara, nice back cut by Cadeau, and he blows the wide open layup. What a big miss there by Elliot Cadeau. 0 of now 7 from the field, 2 of 3 from the free throw line. That was a great play. He was just unable to convert the uncontested layup. Boozer now one-on-one with Johnson. Now Ngongba comes over for the screen. Boozer gets the switch on Mara. Short clock here for the Blue Devils. Boozer drives. Boozer loses it, gets it back, and he is fouled by Mara. Right as the shot clock goes off, Boozer will be going to the line for 2. So 2:30 remaining in this one. Both offenses started out really hot. And then ever since that maybe second media timeout, it has been a defensive slog. They are now going to review this. My guess is to make sure the foul happened before the shot clock went off. And I believe that he's going to get 2 free throws for this. Great pump fake there by Boozer. Great patience, knowing how much time's on the clock. And that is going to be Mara's 4th, if I had to guess. Remember that other foul that I thought was on him wasn't. So, yep, that will be Mara's 4th. And Boozer will be going to the line for a chance to extend this Duke lead. $11, 10, and 7 today for Boozer. Make that 12 as he hits the first free throw. 2 more good games today here on ESPN after this one's over. It's Kentucky at Auburn. Auburn, desperate need of a win. They are probably just on the right side of the bubble right now, and then Iowa State is heading to Provo to play BYU at 10:30. Boozer goes 2 for 2, and Duke is up by 5 here with 2:30. It's probably now or never for Michigan. Got to start hitting some shots. Cadeau. Lenneborg in the corner, they get it to Mara down low. A die Mara on Ngongba. Mara spins, and he lays it in. About as easy as it gets scoring against this Duke defense. It's 10 points for Mara now as we near the 2-minute mark. Duke leads by 3. They've really been running deliberate sets here, especially recently. Back up by Foster. He has it underneath, kicks it to Boozer for 3. Yes! Cam Boozer from downtown, and Duke lead by 6. Big time shot there for the presumptuous National Player of the Year. Merez driving on the other end, kicks it to Cadeau. Wide open triple. They're going to leave him open, and that's not a good idea because he knocks it down. Elliot Cadeau, with his first field goal of the game, could not have come at a more important time. Michigan is down within 3. We're down to 1:20 on the clock. Duke can take this about to the minute mark if they choose. Boozer gets it out by the logo with Merez on him. We're already down to a short clock here at 10. He's going to get a screen from Evans. It's a go screen. Boozer driving Merez. Boozer blocked by Mara. And they're going to call it a goaltend, and they're going to review this. So, Mara got the block here. If I had to gut reaction without seeing a replay, I think that's probably a goaltend. So Boozer spins. Oh, man. Maybe not. Oh, I have no idea what the refs are going to do here. Is this on its way down? It is really hard to tell. I think they're. If I had to guess, I think they're going to leave it. So the basket will stand, and Duke now leads by 5. Tough break there from Mara. If I had to guess, I think that's probably the right call, but man, that was close. I don't think Duke would really. I don't think Duke would really have a gripe if it went the other way either. But Cadeau brings it forward now for Michigan, down by 5 with under a minute left. They're going to need a basket, and they're going to need one fast. Cadeau driving, and he is fouled shooting. So 2 free throws here for Cadeau with 51.4 remaining. Duke still have to get through all 3 of their 1-and-1s. So not even close to over yet. So Cadeau to the line for 2, and he makes the first. So Elliot Cadeau, after what was a pretty poor basketball game from him, he's making some plays here late, trying to get Michigan back into this one. He can make this a one-possession game. I do still think Michigan's probably going to foul with the fact that they have 3 1-and-1s left. Duke has their good free throw shooters in. And Cadeau goes 2 for 2. So nicely done there. Michigan is going to pick up full court. They've got some length. Maybe they can force a turnover, but they throw it right to Boozer over half court. Cadeau trying to reach. Now it's to the other Boozer. And there's about 20 seconds left in between the game and the shot clock. I don't know if they can play this out, but it looks like that's what they're going to do. Caden Boozer, now to Cam. 30 seconds left on the game clock, 10 on the shot clock. Cadeau is guarding him. They're going to switch this immediately. It's a short roll for Ngongba. He lays it up, no good. Gets his own rebound. Michigan's going to have to foul. Definitely, they're going to have to foul here. There's not enough time left. And they foul Evans here with 14.6 seconds left. So they get the stop. They take the risk. They go for just playing it out. They get the missed shot. And they cannot get the rebound. It was a nice short roll from Ngongba. A nice challenge around the rim. But nobody goes and grabs the ball after it misses. So 14.6 remaining. It'll be a 1-and-1 for Isaiah Evans. Now the referees are looking at something again here. Oh, it did. So Michigan was asking if that initial shot from Ngongba hit the rim, and it clearly did here. But it clearly did, so it will be 1-and-1 for Isaiah Evans here. Probably the best shooter on this Duke team. But it is a 1-and-1. 88% from the line. That's second in the ACC. So Evans could put this game into a really, really tough spot for Michigan if he can make both of these. Mara is over there on the bench probably because they're going to need a three-pointer here. And it's a 1-on-1 from Evans, and the free throw is good. And the second one is good as well. So Michigan trails by 5 here with 15 seconds left, and they are going to use a timeout. Unless something crazy happens here, Duke is going to get across the line in what is a huge game in terms of NCAA tournament seeding. So Duke will likely move up to my number 1 overall seed tomorrow. I will be live at noon on this channel, unveiling my most recent bracket projection. We know what the committee did today, obviously, so at least at the top of the bracket, I'll be working off that. Please tune into that 12 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow on the Sports Daily Media Network YouTube channel. And Cadeau brings it forward here. Gonna need a triple and fast by Michigan. Cadeau. Now it's Burnett. A little pin down and a triple. No. Rebound by Sarr. He throws it up to Foster, and that is going to be it. Evans throws it down as the buzzer sounds, and Duke picks up a huge victory over number 1 Michigan. A tough day at the office for the Wolverines. It's the 11th all-time win over the number 1 overall team for Duke. They moved to 25-2 and number 1 overall in the in the AP poll, probably, with Houston losing today to Arizona and with Michigan obviously losing this game. Really poor second half from Michigan offensively. I think Duke did a few things well on the defensive end, but Michigan just missed too many shots, and Duke is too good of a team to make that many mistakes on and get the job done. But what an incredible game from Duke. I want to thank you all for tuning in this time. We had the chat popping off. Going to help the algorithm big time. So thank you for tuning in. Final score, Duke 70, Michigan 63. We'll see you tomorrow for bracketology at noon Eastern, and then Iowa and Wisconsin at 4. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.